Hello, and thank you for joining us on Let's Talk Tobago, where we tell you about the plans and initiatives of the Tobago House of Assembly and the impact that these have on you. I'm Colleen Holder, and this week we're coming to you from Rovanel's resort. In our stories this week, THA election date coming soon. The Chief Secretary surrenders his personal finances to be audited. A child abuse task force to be formed as cases continue to rise. And 50 teachers say goodbye to the teaching fraternity.
Join the Tobago House of Assembly for Remembrance Day, November 11th, as we honor the Tobagonians who served in World Wars I and II. The uniform parade starts at the Scarborough Fire Station at 10:30 a.m. and then on to James Park for the formal tribute.
The Tobago House of Assembly celebrates 32 years and invites nominations for the Chief Secretary's Awards 2012. The awards honor Tobagonians for outstanding contribution and significant achievement between the period of December 2011 to present. Nomination forms can be collected at the office of the Chief Secretary, Cutler Hall, or downloaded from www.tha.gov.tt. Deadline for nomination is Monday 19th November 2012 at 4 p.m. The awards will be presented on Assembly Day, December 4th, 2012. See press for details.
The dissolution of the Tobago House of Assembly on October 25th has signaled that the THA elections are close at hand. At the recent Post-Executive Council press briefing, Chief Secretary Orville London said he has written to the President officially informing him of the dissolution of the Assembly and at the same time recommending a date for the THA elections. The elections must be held no less than 2 months and no more than 3 months after the Assembly is dissolved.
What that means is that the President will also consult with the Prime Minister, and in his own discretion, he will then determine a date which he will release in his own time. Well, not just in his own time, taking into consideration the statutory deadlines, because there are certain deadlines that he has to meet. But the decision as to the date and the decision of the timing of the announcement, that of course is going to be left to the President.
Mr. London also indicated that the auditing of his personal finances has begun.
I've already commissioned a reputable accounting firm, and I am going to be meeting with them tomorrow. In the meantime, I have asked for all the information on my personal finances, or I might say my personal earnings under the Tobago House of Assembly. The report is that that information should be made available by the end of this week, and I'm hoping that by the end of this month that we should be able to make that information public. Because I want to reiterate that I have a responsibility to myself and to my family and to all those who have some respect for me, and all those whom I trust and who trust me, to ensure that the efforts made to vilify me and to attack my integrity, that those efforts fail. So regardless of anything else, I have that personal responsibility, and I owe it to myself to ensure that this exercise is completed, and completed to the satisfaction of the public of Tobago, and by extension the public of Trinidad and Tobago.
The re-establishment of the Oversight Committee to deal with Caribbean Airlines airbridge service and priority flight connections to Tobago with its new ATR fleet. These were some of the assurances given to representatives of the Tourism Division where they recently met with Caribbean Airlines Chairman Rabindra Moonan. Here's Omadara Mills to tell us more.
It was a follow-up meeting from September 2012, where Chairman of Caribbean Airlines Rabindra Moonan shared some short-term measures which will improve its flight service into and out of Tobago, one which includes the reinstatement of CAL's Oversight Committee for the island.
We discussed re-establishing some of the standing committees which did not sit. Or if it's a standing committee, well, then let us have them stand in line and get the job done. It's a commitment we have made from Caribbean Airlines that we will re-establish a greater liaison between ourselves and the THA. I made the commitment that the ATR fleet would be dedicated to the airbridge That is not to say that the 5 aircraft will be on the tarmac in Port of Spain waiting to come to Tobago. We'll satisfy other Caribbean routes, but Tobago takes first priority.
Secretary of Tourism Oswald Williams shared his thoughts on the re-establishment of the Oversight Committee.
We are also happy that you have agreed that we should have the Oversight Committee on the airbridge reinstituted.
Although pleased with the commitments made by Caribbean Airlines, Secretary Williams urged CAL's chairman to ensure that they improve the reservation process due to its importance for revenues from domestic tourism.
If we could have that confidence returned to the reservation process to book a flight between Trinidad and Tobago. We really want to see that improve because we feel that it has tremendous benefits, not only for Tobago, for Trinidad and Tobago.
The discussions also included the commitment of an improved ticketing system and flight connections between Tobago and other countries such as Barbados, New York, and Canada. I am Umudara Mills for the Department of Information.
On average, the child abuse hotline Childline gets 2 calls per day. So prevalent is the problem that a child abuse task force will be formed in Trinidad and Tobago as cases of abuse continue to rise. This was revealed by the manager of the Victim and Support Unit of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, Desiree Williams. She spoke on the topic at a lecture series carried out in Roxborough by the Division of Health and Social Services. Davia Chambers has more.
Children started to shun the child, ostracize the child, then talking to the little girl child, then playing with her, and she became like a little introvert, very quiet in the classroom, and the teacher started to talk to her. When she spoke to the teacher, she told the teacher that every time she get up to go to the bathroom, the father would come in the bathroom and have sex with her. So what she started to do, she started to retain the urine. There was a particular twin in a certain part in Trinidad. Father and mother, every time he come home drunk, he would line them up with one of the twins say, I will go first. You know why I'll go first? Because when he drunk, he just finish fast. So I will go first.
Those stories are not fictional. Child sexual abuse is indeed taking place in Trinidad and Tobago and is rampant, says manager of the Victim and Support Unit of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, Margaret Sampson Brown.
You could imagine the kind of penance our children have to go through by adults, and we have parents who are in the house and who ain't saying nothing.
Because of the continual occurrence of sexual abuse of children, a child abuse task force will be formed.
One in area north for Trinidad, one in area south for Trinidad, and one in Tobago. And we are going to aggressively search out and protect our children. And if it means taking out the father and the mother who sustainably and continuously abuse their children in the home, they are coming with us.
So serious is child abuse in the country that approximately 1,578 children called the 24-hour children hotline, Childline, from 2010 to 2012.
For the year 2010, 301 children call the hotline. 301, 2010, for physical abuse. 30 called for psychological abuse. 43 children in 2010 called the hotline and said that one of their parents was sexually abusing them. And 108 called for neglect, where the parents neglected them, leaving them alone for long hours, for days, not giving them food. In all, 482 children called the hotline.
But not only police are able to save children, teachers also assist.
Because sometimes when the parents' eyes are so blind, the child look to the teacher to save them.
Samson Brown said that the society must strive to reduce the number of children being abused. For the Department of Information, I'm Davia Chambers.
Cigarettes are linked to the 4 leading causes of death in this country. Sophie Guillaume tells us that this has led the Division of Health and Social Services to hold a workshop to educate people on the benefits of quitting smoking as part of its Health Heritage Month.
The workshop, which examined the cause and effects of smoking, highlighted the fact that the lungs are not the only organs affected by smoking.
The brain is the fundamental organ that gets affected by the toxic product nicotine, which is one of the major products that comes from the plant, Nicotina granaticum. And actually tobacco smoking was going on for more than 500 years BC. But they all knew that this tobacco and the nicotine product changes the things in the brain that not only makes you feel good, but makes you want more. The stomach is a huge area also. Of course, we know stomach cancer, which you never want to get. You always die from that. Smoking is a big factor for stomach cancer. And also causes something called acid reflux, which a lot of you probably know about now. You get burping and extra gas and so on, many other organs.
Dr. Trotman went on to add that the 4 major causes of deaths in Trinidad and Tobago, heart disease, stroke, diabetes and cancer, are linked to cigarette smoking. She also noted that most people begin smoking in their teens. In his presentation, County Medical Officer of Health, Dr. Pratap Singh, showed the link between tobacco smoking and non-communicable diseases. Meanwhile, Professor Hutchinson listed low self-esteem among the reasons why people smoke, while at the same time looking at quitting methods.
We have to recognize that wanting to smoke is, for people who smoke, an important motivator, and we have to overcome that desire in them if we're going to get them to stop. And these withdrawal symptoms can be pretty discomforting and disturbing: irritability, restlessness, nausea, issues with sleep, issues with appetite, and once you smoke, those symptoms go away, so you're encouraged to smoke.
The professor explained that the 5A method is the most effective when it comes to quitting smoking.
The first A is to ask them about smoking. As Dr. Trotman said, many people are closet smokers, many people don't acknowledge that they smoke, and you need to begin the conversation by asking them about it so that they are able then to acknowledge that, in fact, I do smoke. So having asked them about it, the next step is to advise them to stop. And not with any reasons, just point out to them that it would be better for your health if you were to stop, be better for your finances, you'd have to spend less money buying cigarettes, so you should stop. And then, with them, you could work with them to assess how willing they are. So that assessment process, again, is just a question: are you willing to stop? Are you ready to stop? Once they say yes, they are willing, then you can assist them with the best strategy that you think might help them. And of course, arrange for constant follow-up.
Sophie Guillaume, Department of Information.
102 small business owners have received financial help from the Business Development Unit in the Finance Division to the tune of over $2 million. The ceremony also showcased the achievements of agro-processors, entertainers and fashion designers, with one making a name for himself in the French-speaking island of Guadeloupe. Omadara Mills has highlights of the event.
Themed A Touch of Elegance, the Business Development Unit distributed grants and loans to the value of $2,242,180.66 to 102 Tobago entrepreneurs. This according to manager of the Enterprise Unit, Shelley-Ann Batiste.
Today, a further 98 grant clients will receive funding valuing $1,701,487.16. And 4 loan clients will receive $540,693.50.
The Business Development Unit will follow up on their clients' business progress. This assurance came from entrepreneur Grace Thomas Green, who now has a thriving drapery business due to the financial and educational support of the unit.
It has helped me a lot because I improve productivity. It's not just getting the grant. Sometimes they really bother you. Some people say they don't bother you, but I'm telling you that it does bother you. So when you hear they say they come in.
Fashion designer Kevin Ayong Julian has flourished with the help of the BDU, moving from grant to loan. Owner of Cash Designs, Julian showcased his resort collection, which is available in Guadeloupe and online. Agro-processors are also playing an important role in the growth of Tobago's economy. One entrepreneur in agriculture, Bevon Dennis, received an additional check for his ability to calculate Tobago's portion of the 2012-2013 national budget accurately.
You could do arithmetic.
Yes, sir.
And you see this 3.989455?
Yes, sir.
That is the share of the budget we got, not the 4.3 minimum that we should have get.
To date, over 700 entrepreneurs have received assistance of over $25 million. Here's what recipients had to say about their grant checks.
I encourage a lot more Tobagonians, young people, old people, and particularly in the area of farming and agro-processing, come forward so that Tobago can once again regain its glory in terms of food.
BDU has been such a blessing to us because now we have an opportunity where we can offer you the service with a more professional outlook. So if you're interested in getting a grant, you're interested in opening your business, come on down to BDU, you'll definitely be pleased.
I am Umadara Mills for the Department of Information.
You can now send us your comments to information@tha.gov.tt or visit us at www.tha.gov.tt. Please see the bottom of your screen for more contact details. We take a break, but when we return, 50 Tobago teachers bid farewell to their profession.
Join the Tobago House of Assembly for Remembrance Day, November 11th, as we honor the Tobagonians who served in World Wars I and II. The uniform parade starts at the Scarborough Fire Station at 10:30 a.m. and then on to James Park for the formal tribute.
The Tobago House of Assembly celebrates 32 years and invites nominations for the Chief Secretary's Awards 2012. The awards honor Tobagonians for outstanding contribution and significant achievement between the period of December 2011 to present. Nomination forms can be collected at the office of the Chief Secretary, Codler Hall, or downloaded from www.tha.gov.tt. Deadline for nomination is Monday 19th November 2012 at 4 p.m. The awards will be presented on Assembly Day, December 4th, 2012. See press for details.
Welcome back. Sex is not the major part of sexuality. Director of the Division of Aging, Dr. Jennifer Rouse, made this statement as she addressed the issue of aging and sexuality. With over 300 centenarians in Trinidad and Tobago, Umadara Mills reports that sexuality is about the changes in the sexes and the changing roles of the sexes.
Sexuality was one of the health and wellness topics highlighted in October's Health Heritage Month. Director of the Division of Aging, Dr. Jennifer Rouse, stated that sexuality deals with the biological, psychological, and social changes in men and women.
Sex is not the major part of sexuality. It's more about the gender, female, male, how we age, the different biological changes your body goes through. And then the most important part of aging is the psychological aging.
Dr. Rouse stated that males' sexuality is under threat from lifestyle diseases such as cancers, stress, and the anxiety about their role in society.
The boys now don't even know how to choose a mate because they're so fearful of the girls, their counterparts in age, who ain't going back to school, who look stronger than them, who talking louder than them, and they just shrinking, emasculated.
Another factor in the topic of the population's changing sexuality is the reverse in household roles between men and women. Dr. Rouse explained.
Women are going out to work, so they are leaving the home base to work. They are having fewer children. The families have shrunk. Some have one child, some have none by choice.
The seminar on aging and sexuality was one of several workshops facilitated by the Division of Health and Social Services to encourage Tobagonians to look after every aspect of their well-being. I am Umudara Mills for the Department of Information.
The students at Scarborough Secondary can testify to the old saying that all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. At the school's recent awards ceremony, students were victorious at both the books and play.
Basketball, cadets, dance, drama, hockey, inter-school Christian fellowship, young leaders, netball, swimming, table tennis, and contribution to UNESCO were just some of the special categories that students got awards in. Antonio Roach and Chanel Thornhill were awarded for their excellence on the basketball court, Nicholas Benjamin for cadets, Daniel Isaac drama, Trevon Daniel football and rugby, hockey Tiffany James, table tennis Shania Wellington. On the academic side of things, numerous students received more than one award. Shanika McDougall-Smith excelled in English literature and principles of business. Siobhan Alicock received 3 awards, English literature, geography, and principles of business. Michael Leander took home the awards for physical education and Spanish, while Shalifa Cipriani showed her skills in language and the kitchen. Antonio Roach has a thing for drawing. He was able to do extremely well in technical drawing and visual arts. Godwin Small was successful in mathematics and mechanical engineering technology. Celicia Skeet was rewarded for geography and human and social biology. Students also collected trophies for their hard work in the last academic year. Some of the students awarded were Ariel Smith, Shanice Andrews, Anicia Jordan, Shumari James, Nikaria Charles, Shaquille Dalrymple, Mikisha Bruce, and Declan Harris. Each year, Scarborough Secondary distributes awards to students who have performed exceptionally in the school, providing an incentive for upcoming students to also do their best. For the Department of Information, I'm Davia Chambers.
Tobago's teaching fraternity has lost 50 teachers, but not in the way you might think. The teachers, who came from both primary and secondary schools, have retired and were honored at the 8th Annual Teachers Appreciation and Retirement Ceremony, which was themed My Teacher, My Hero. Sophie Guillaume has more.
From nursery to tertiary, teachers play an important role in a child's life.
I respectfully submit that the socialization at the first stages of the development of the child are the most important one. To me, the second stage of development between 5 and 12 is most critical. A certain religious organization is reported to have said, "Give me the child at 5, and I will show you the man or woman later on."
Chief Secretary Orville London recalled the days when teachers were an influence on students both in and outside of the classroom, adding that today's students lack leadership.
It is in that context I want to charge all teachers, retirees and practicing teachers, that you have a responsibility outside of the school. Nobody else can do it better than you can, and therefore you have the responsibility to do it, because that is what developed Tobago over the years. If you look at the development of communities in Tobago, you can link the development of every single village in Tobago with a particular teacher or particular teachers.
This year saw the largest number of retirees since the inception of the function. For their years of service, Education Administrator Jennifer Lazama thanked the retirees while reminding the current teachers that they needed to be persistent.
No matter the challenges, no matter the obstacles, your ability and willingness to overcome them will determine the person you portray and ultimately the individual your students emulate. You are a true hero when you can endure and emerge stronger than when you first face the challenges.
Between 2010 and 2012, 6 teachers have passed away. Veronica Tate Gift, Carol Parks Granville, Nicola Edwards, Rupert McCarty, Jean Yearwood and Ursula Robley. They were honored with a moment of silence. Winner of the Teachers' Talent Competition, Gerard Balfour, provided entertainment along with performances from Joanna Douglas, Kern Johnson, Masters Mind, and Denise Plummer. For the Department of Information, I am Sophie Guillaume.
Public officers in the Tobago House of Assembly have been designing business improvement projects for the Assembly's various divisions. This was part of the course they undertook at the Arthur Lockjack Graduate School of Business, which the THA has engaged to provide an executive diploma in business management for public officers. 27 officers have now graduated and they are already helping to improve the day-to-day running of their divisions.
Chief Administrator of the Tobago House of Assembly, Dr. Ellis Boris, who ensured that the training developed by the school was in sync with the needs of the Assembly, said that the program began in 2010 to develop leadership competencies that would transform the Tobago House of Assembly.
Support succession planning in senior positions in the Tobago House of Assembly, facilitate the personal and career development strategies of managers, glean employees' commitment to the Tobago House of Assembly and its vision. And at least one of the leading division has completed a new vision, and that is the Office of the Chief Secretary.
With the graduates having to utilize the knowledge gained back in their respective offices, the Chief Administrator noted that the officers designed business improvement projects as a part of the course to be implemented by various divisions of the Assembly.
Some of these projects were improve profitability of aggregate production in the Studley Park Quarry and allied industries, review of the government housing construction project, introduction of an employee handbook in the Division of Education, Youth Affairs and Sports, the rehabilitation of social reintegration of drug users, abusers, ex-prisoners and deportees in the island of Tobago, and finally, internal communication plan in the Division of Finance and Enterprises Development.
According to feature speaker Claire Davidson Williams, this initiative demonstrates the commitment to develop Tobagonians.
What better way to start? By developing the public officers who must deliver the public service to the persons you want to develop in Tobago. So they were able to achieve a twofold Philip edge here on you, right? And I really want to applaud the Assembly for that process.
Valedictorian Stephanie Armstrong Daniel urged her fellow classmates to put everything they have learned into their daily working lives.
Come to what next? What next? Taking action. Taking action to do what we were trained to do. No excuses, not anymore. This program was designed to train administrators, not only the administrators, but administrators in the sense of supervisors, managers, middle and senior officers.
For the Department of Information, I'm Davia Chambers.
And that's where we leave you on this week's edition of Let's Talk Tobago. On behalf of the Department of Information, I'm Colleen Holder, and we leave you now with highlights of the THA's annual Sports and Family Day.